Hey Ellie, hey Sienna. It's another video from your dad. And the goal of this video, or the hope of this video, is that you're watching it sometime in your older years when you start to become more curious about your father and what he has to say, and maybe learning a little bit more about life, and perhaps something I say in these videos is useful, and if there's things I say that aren't useful, throw it out and apply what works for you in your lives, girls. This is video number 4. What kind of men should you associate with? So I am your father, girls. You also have a stepfather, and you've interacted with boys in your middle school and high school and probably college by the time you're really taking an interest in this video. Maybe you've gotten married by the time you're watching this, or not. Either way, I want to share my opinion, one perspective, one lens to think about. To think about the kind of men you should associate with. In my last video, I talked about why the one ring of power was so hard to destroy, and how men are easily corrupted, and women in different ways. Women are corrupted in different ways. Men are largely corrupted by power, control. Women are largely corrupted by manipulation of others, and to some extent control. So it's kind of like men use physical and aggression to control. Women use more mental, just kind of a mental psyche way to control. And not all do this, by the way. I'm just saying, for those that do, that's generally how it works. So, Ellie and Sienna, I'm your dad. My name's Jeremy, as you know. And there are qualities about me I like. There's qualities about myself that I'm working on. I'm not sure you girls will find a perfect man in your life, but you might find someone perfectly perfect for you. That's very different. So let me go down the list of good qualities and bad qualities. And since I want to end on good qualities, let's start with the bad qualities, the things you want to look out for. You girls, you want to vet and be very, very cautious and careful with the man and the men friends, guy friends, and the man, if you're seeking marriage in a relationship, that you allow in your life. It's not something you want to jump into lightly. So bad qualities, things to look out for. Aggression. Watch out for men who are overly aggressive, who are overbearing, who are loud-mouthed, who seek to be the center of attention, who need to have attention on them at all times, who use a temper and anger in order to convey their points or to try to win a discussion. Watch out, avoid men, avoid, I guess they're the same thing. Avoid men who physically try to push and shove and hit. And you can get a feel for if a guy is capable of doing this if he physically tries to get in your space and do things that you haven't shown great consent for. It's a big clue that there's a problem going on. Watch out for the guy who just is pushy, and just keeps trying to get something from you. Again, I'm saying not all men are perfect. I'm an imperfect man as your father. Like, I look at my last 7.5 years now since I've been divorced, and there's times I've been a little pushy with others where I'm like, yeah, you know what, with that girl, I was a little pushy, and I was hurt, so I said some things that I wish I could take back. This was years ago now, like many years ago. I have since learned not to do some of those things, not to react angrily. But I've never ever hit anyone. I've never aggressively yelled at anyone. Never, in the last 7.5 years, I've never aggressively yelled at anyone. I've never physically pushed or violently acted with anyone. The worst I've done is, and I think it was March of 2015, a girl ghosted me, and I just told her, like, there's something wrong with her. She needs help or something like that. And just kind of told her off because I was frustrated. I've been ghosted so many times since then. It's kind of like, it's a numbing thing now. It's just like, yeah, that's kind of just what happens. So watch out for guys who are just overly aggressive. Like someone like Donald Trump, while there's good, it's good to kind of be a strong man and take initiative. He's way too aggressive. If you watch the last presidential debate between Donald Trump and Joe Biden from a couple years back, it's very saddening. It's just two men trying to gain control through, and largely Donald Trump through over talking. And it's a problem in today's world that there's so many men like this. It's also a problem, here's some more bad qualities, someone who is overly passive, overly cautious, overly timid. That's not good either. And these are the things I have to work on, girls, and that I acknowledge are weaknesses in me. Because I'm so afraid of experiencing what I have. Like when I grew up with my father, it was like every few months, when's the tea kettle gonna blow? When is dad gonna blow up and start swearing and hitting me? That's how I was trained as a child to the environment I grew up with my father. I'm on good terms with my father now, but that's what it was like as a child, largely until I got much older. Then it didn't happen as much. So I reacted to that by being overly passive and overly checked out. And that's not good either. So watch out for those two primary things. Watch out for someone with addictions to alcohol, to drugs, to pornography. These are not good things, girls. Any addiction is harmful because it takes away your ability to choose. Watch out for men who are in huge amounts of debt and irresponsible with their nest egg, because they will lack the ability to be a provider and protector should you decide to marry him. You do not need a man who is wealthy. You do not need a man who is loaded with money and sports cars, but you need someone who's dedicated and manages what he has very well. That's incredibly important. Watch out for people who appear to be someone that they're actually not. The term for this is a narcissist. And if you just develop a deep radar, girls, and you just carefully watch, a lot of these qualities I've talked about, especially the trying to manipulate, control, periods of over-aggression, someone who never admits they're wrong, someone who never says they are sorry, someone who is hot and cold, who changes from being nice to being mean, someone who does something wrong and then later will say that never happened. It's called gaslighting. You cut these men. If you ever are interacting with a man like that, you cut them out of your life instantly. You do not need closure. You do not need to try and gain clarity into the situation. You do not need to try and understand this other person. You simply cut them out. Cut them out of your life. Block them in all forms and never interact with them again. And if someone's doing this to you and I'm still alive, you tell me and I'll take care of it. It's as simple as that. because I am your father. I am your protector and guardian, girls. And though I am a peaceful man, watch out for the peaceful man who is pushed beyond his edge. Okay, so those are just some things to look for in the bad quality areas of men. Yes, we all make mistakes. It's not like if a man raises his voice once, you just need to remove him from your life. But it's a serious red flag if he does, even once. It's a serious red flag. Like, you can give one warning, that's fine. But even that one time shows a tip of the iceberg for that man. It just does. So, what are good qualities of men to look for, girls? Confidence is a good thing because it means that man is trained in the ways of how this world operates. That's where confidence comes from. If someone is confident, it means they largely know what to expect in a situation. Michael Jordan, the basketball player, was very confident because he was so skilled and so good at what he was doing that he could kind of be a wizard and with the basketball and make things happen. But he was very well trained, very athletic, and just putting my neck back. It's leaning too far forward. So confidence comes from the work to know and understand reality about different things, about people, about business, about health, wealth, finance, human interaction, books, how to win friends and influence people. And there's so many things that go into confidence. So confidence is good. It does not mean that this man is the most amazing, incredible man, because you can have a man with no moral compass who's very confident because he just doesn't care. He just says and does whatever he wants. But he has no moral compass or center to his actions. And that's not good. That's a bad quality. You want a man who has a strong moral compass, has the ability to say, I'm sorry, I messed up, and then does never repeats the mistake that he messed up in. That's hard. I've made many mistakes, and when I was married and in the last 7.5 years, and repeated mistakes. So I come to you, girls, as not the most perfect guy. I have some of the bad qualities in me. I'm not. I guess there's a few more bad qualities. You want someone who's congruent, impeccable with his word, does what he says, shows you great love and care and attention, appreciates you. And that appreciation comes from him listening to you and your needs and fulfilling those needs. More good qualities: someone who's hardworking, someone who earns his keep, someone honest, someone truthful, transparent, someone who will share everything about themselves, even the skeletons in their closet and the demons and the things that he's incredibly embarrassed about. You want someone who will share it all with you, girls. Because that means that person is being honest, at least as best as they can be. Someone who keeps their body in tip-top shape. I would not get into a relationship with a man who's obese and eating pizza all the time. Find someone who's fit, works out, does yoga, or some kind of activity, likes to hike, who respects their body as a temple, so to speak, both in the way they exercise and the foods they put in their body. Find someone who's joyful, who, even if they're not happy all the time, they're on a quest and on a path to happiness. They're at least trying. Find the man who's at least trying. Find someone with some amount of passion and spark of life to them. This is something I'm working on. I know the importance of it because that's a driver. Men are the drivers, largely the drivers of great change and great effect in this world. Women can do it too. You girls can do it in your life. But the nature of men and women in general, from how we were designed, is clear that men are movers and shakers and women are receivers. It's just the anatomy is set up that way. It makes sense to me. But it doesn't mean that women can't be movers and shakers as well. They absolutely can be. And men can be receivers if they so desire. It's just the general nature is as I've described. Other good qualities in men. I'm trying to think of some, and I think I've outlined a good amount of them. Just someone who takes care of themselves, someone who's confident, is passionate about something in their life, can hold a steady entrepreneurship endeavor or job. I don't care too much about how a man dresses. I wear shorts and tank tops a lot, and I think people overvalue the way someone dresses in this world. So those are a few of my tidbits of advice regarding men, girls. And I encourage you girls to do your own research. And because there's probably a lot more that I've missed, both on the bad and the good. And I come before you as an imperfect man sharing this. So it's up to you girls to glean from this video what makes sense. I sure love you girls. I appreciate you. Hi Ellie and hi Sienna. Or whenever you're watching this, whether it's the year 2024 or 2054. I'm grateful for this opportunity I have to be your father here on earth. Namaste. I'll see you in the next video.